My name is Alphonse Ha, and my wife is Truy.
TV Hall, right?
Right?
I should change my name to TV Ha.
Maybe Ha Ho would be better.
Okay. So
Okay.
we live in Vietnam now, right?
Of course.
And we come here for
A
reunion, family
family
reunion.
reunion. This is the first family reunion since my father's death 6 years ago.
Really, really wonderful holiday reunion.
Okay.
Yeah, and so why don't you tell me a little bit about how you found out about the family reunion, when the first talk about having a reunion like this, when you first heard. Where were you? Did you get a phone call from Kimchi? How did that work?
Kimchi.
I think from October, right?
Was it kimchi or?
Yeah, kimchi. Kimchi, she called and she say try to make a trip back to
States?
US
Yeah,
state
US, yeah.
in December.
Right.
Right.
Oh, okay. I
And
think it
then-
was what, October, 3 months before?
Yeah, I think so.
About 3 months before.
Yeah, I mean we really ready. It's a holiday vacation. We're so happy. So we don't have kids yet, so we
Can travel
ready.
anytime.
Yeah,
so.
travel anytime. But this is very good occasion to meet everybody, every member in the family.
Mhm.
That's really good.
So we tried to get everything done before December. So we got everything finished.
Right.
So it's just a great vacation without thinking about
Right.
work.
That's correct.
Break down the stats for me. How many people were here? Just tell me who came, who was able to come, from where, that kind of thing.
Okay, well, when we got the tickets, and Duke and I are supposed to meet in Japan from Vietnam. We fly separate. Supposed to meet in Japan was it on Sunday?
Yes.
On Sunday, but Duke's schedule changed. He's going to Japan on Monday instead of Sunday. So I stopped at Min's house for like 6 hours, and then like 5 o'clock, and we flew to United States, California. That's when I met Bernard first, and the following next day, Bernard and I went pick up Duke family.
Yes. And we spent 1 week together
Yeah, 1 week together.
in Santa,
and you get
Orange County,
Alright.
and then we travel. We try.
We drove up to San Francisco. Was it Monday, right? Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh my God! Remember the one night before leaving Vietnam, he did call and he said that he couldn't go, right? And then everybody jumped in it, and Kimchi called him immediately said, and then Anvin, remember he messaged to me and he said, oh, and then we talked about that, and then we asked the family to
Make sure he can
make
come.
sure, yeah, right.
I'm sure he can come. So he finally did get an order because I think he has a flight problem.
Yes, right.
So he got his schedule finished and the flight schedule finished, and finally we all met here. Plus, Min flew to. I heard he flew to Brazil like 3-4 days later, and his schedule got canceled, and had to reschedule again. And finally, he made it to the reunion to Kimchi's house.
But we on schedule. We
We
on
are-
time.
we are on time. We're all on time.
We all on time.
There was a surprise here. Can you talk about the surprise, and did you have any guess in your mind who the surprise might be?
When I was in about the Davidians came here, when I was in Kimchi's office, and she said she has a special guest. Then I was thinking, if it's my aunt, it's pretty hard because in France it takes more time. But with a short time of reunion, so I'm having a guest of Mr. Vidian. But that day when we all in this room, and was guessing, you know, who is it? And
That's so fun.
that was so fun, and I was thinking, you know, I don't want to guess Mr. Vidian if you spoil all the questions. So I'm pretty much playing along, asking questions, and they answer different thing. If I say Mr. Vidian in the beginning, and you know, and then it's not many questions to answer or ask.
So that's mean you guess correct.
I
Right?
guess like 80%,
Uh-huh.
because he's the closest. No, 5 boys in the family. But Kim
Right.
Chi, she was in Colorado. He's the one who knows. But my aunt, my uncle, my aunt, they would know everybody. So
They expect their uncle and their aunt come here because they love them very much. So everybody, when they ask about guessing, they always think about only the uncle Bernard and Aunt Thơm, and the one another surprise as Mr. Vidian.
and
right?
Mrs. Vidian, yes.
And how long had it been since you'd seen them? Well, let's back up a little bit. So you kind of thought this is probably the Vidians, the
Mhm.
special surprise, but you don't want to say it.
Right.
Spoil the fun. Well, then, still, the moment of truth was when that door opened. And what were you thinking? How were you feeling? What were the feelings that were...
Feeling because my feeling was when they opened the door was I haven't seen them for a long time.
How many years?
It was about, I think Mrs. Vidian at least 24 years. Mr. Vidian,
24 years.
no, I see Mr. Vidian more than Mrs. Vidian. So it's Mrs. Vidian's at least 22 years, and Mr. Vidian at least 20 years.
Oh my God.
So
So
and it was
happy,
very
right?
nice to see them, because I've talked to him on the email a couple of times. It was in early 90s. You know, I wanted him to come to my wife's wedding.
They wasn't there.
They weren't there, so they couldn't make it. So,
Yeah.
but they really were hard-working family anyway. So
Really happy to see them again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I didn't know them, but I heard a lot about Mr. and Mrs. Vidian, and he told me a lot, many story about them. So that's why very very happy to see them.
they're very important people of our family, because he helped us through a lot of hardship. We learned a lot about his the way of working in America, how to be strong, how to handle stress, work, and if you can't make it, keep going until you make it. One day you will make it. So just try hard and work. That's all it is. So
Your first job, right? Mr. Vidian.
yeah, Mr. Vidian, it was Min's and Duke's, and my father was the first job. For me, it was I didn't work for him until I was about 18, 20, and years old. Yeah, and Duke, Min, and my dad worked there when they came over. So it wasn't my first job, but I was working a different job with his job too, at a funeral home. So.
Scary, huh?
Well, how old were you when you came to the United States? If you could just sort of, remember like back to Fort Jaffe and maybe.
I came to Fort Jaffe. I think it was July. July 9th or 8th. It's like 3-4 days before. I think, pretty sure 3-4 days before my birthday.
So how old?
My birthday is on July 11th. I was born 1964.
So
I'm
11?
Yeah, 11th. Yeah.
Okay, 11 years.
So I'm 40 in American time, and I'm 41 in Vietnamese time. So age.
Okay.
And
What were your first impressions when you arrived at that age?
the first for me, first impression was in Singapore. everything was, you know, different. You know, see the high rises. For me, at that time, I was more playing instead of. I was looking for materialized, you know, like buildings and things like that. I was more like meet a lot of kids and playing soccer, sneak down the fence to go swimming on the island where you're not supposed to, things like that more than, you know, go shopping at that time.
So what's the importance of the Avidians to you in your life? What kind of influence did they?
The important and the influence for Mr. Vidian is to work hard, never give up. I mean, at his age now, he still can drive. I don't know if I can drive his age, so I heard he can still drive fast. So, you know, I notice even to now, I mean, to use umbrella as a raining day, I don't need, you know, he can handle everything. So as long as he can work, and plus, you know, it gives us a family something that to look on, so to keep going. So.
And I think it's very important when you first arrive. You know, it's a new culture and a new land to have people who they sponsor you, but they also they give you values.
Right. I mean, I remember he takes us go somewhere. Every time he takes us to somewhere, that he could teach us what to do, what to look for, how the way he works. We learn how the way he works, not by learning him, but you keep working with him, and up you can see when you get older. Now why was he so hard at this point? When we were young, and then now it's a great thing to learn from him. And the thing is, I always tell to my wife that, you know, we just have to keep work hard at it, no matter what. You know, so, and someday we can improve and strive, you know, for a new thing.
Great. And now you returned to Vietnam and you're in business over there.
Right.
Maybe we can talk a little bit about your business, and I'd like to sort of find out how it is that you both work in the same business. And how is that working together? Maybe we can talk about that first.
Okay, the thing is, when we started the business, it was for fun. It's not something we learn from school or from university. It's if we start some business, and then for that business, we look around at what we need help and who we need help, what we need to do. And all the things I learned from Mr. Vidian, from the United States, from college, from working many jobs, it helps me to organize the business. And when she was in construction, she was in a construction company. You know, I always want her to work in a foreign company so she can learn the system. I mean, the way I was thinking, the harder boss you have, the better you're learning. So like same thing, like the hardest teacher you study, even you flunk, but you still can learn a lot out of them. It's not like the easiest teacher you get a good grade and you do well. No, it's not. It's just like the harder it is, the better for you to learn. So. And for the business, it just each day we learning new things. Everything's different. Never expect something perfect. So she's working in different field and I working in different field. For example, she's in finance.
Yeah, we don't step
over.
We don't step over, right? So I take care about the finance administration, and he take care about operation, technical.
So we always need each other.
Yes, correct.
This is not like a one man's job that can do everything. That's why I call cooperation. Everything has to be work together, and we don't step over each other's work. and I don't see her until like 6 o'clock in the afternoon or lunchtime. We go home for lunch or dinner.
Yeah, actually we work hard. We really work hard there. 8 o'clock in the morning we go to office, go to work, and then we go home very late, about 7 or 8.
8 o'clock at night time.
Yeah, nighttime.
Sometimes I even go early to see the production. You know, my schedule is different. I always like to wake up early, so the time's longer. I also like to work on the weekend. I'm busy more on weekend than on weekdays. Weekend to prepare all the works, and weekend I'm more relaxed. Weekdays I'm more relaxed. Weekend I do a lot of works on weekends. So.
No, I'm different.
She's different. She's more busy weekdays, and the weekend she's more free.
Yeah, we like our job. We like our job a lot. We enjoy that, right? Because we do in the fashion area. So we do fashion handbag, fashion clothes. So
Even kids' clothes,
yeah,
and it's not designing. It's one thing. It's who to sell and what area, what nationality, and it's so many different. It's the
that's right.
that's it. Plus
Means-
we learn a lot from our shop. That's where people come. I like this. I don't like this, and kids like this, and you watch what kind of tourists coming into the shop, and plus it's a great place to train our staff, because that's where they can learn their language. You know, French or English or Japanese. Then they can move up to another level in the office. Excuse me.
Right, tell me now, tell the camera as though it was first time meeting the camera, what kind of business you have. Give me the rundown of how many employees, what you do, what you make, that sort of thing.
The camera. Oh, I talked to the camera. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. When I can tell the story a little bit in the beginning, then to the factory. This when we started small, very small boutique. We stayed. You know, we have only about.
we manufacture, right?
We manufacture things. We do a lot of testing. We do samples. We're about 6 people. That's not including us. Then we start, and then next thing is people need clothes. We start making clothes. You make really nice clothes, and people want handbags. So we make handbags and so forth, and shoes, and it grows more. And our staff's getting larger and larger. Excuse me. Plus, for the staff, it depends on the production too. And as the production increase, our staff increase. Our staff is over 100 staff, but things they are very flexible, and they can do so many different material, from leather to fabrics. The staff production increase, the staff is more, and no, I'm
Oh,
mentioning
sure.
again, so.
Yeah, no problem.
Huh? I never thought.
So what kind of business when you tell people, you tell them I have a clothing business, what do you, if I'm in fashion industry, what do you tell them? What kind of business do you have?
I usually, a lot of friends ask me what do I do? I do is I manufacture clothing, handbags, and shoes. We design it, make samples, even uniform, and so many other things beside uniform. Like I make some masks for Halloween. People need to make, like my brother, he needs to make sewing the wings make out of mylar. So we do that too. So it's not. I'm trying to take everything. Is because when we're doing businesses, the opportunity to open one thing is if you can handle that, and I can get more staff into that department to build up that department up. So it's an increase our business. It's the same thing with clothing. Before we started to make clothing, we never done any handbags before. For me, I like to see new things. I don't like to see same thing every day. I can't sit in the office every day, so I'm always moving. So that's the thing I like is get something, I sit down, I look at it, analyze it, break it apart, see how to do it, to make it better, and I make the sample up, and then by next year I want to be better, always want to be better. I don't want to be same thing, do the same thing every year, every day. So that's that's the thing how our company it grows so fast.
Yeah, I'll let you get a drink. We'll go back to that in a couple of questions. I wanted to ask you a little bit about your family and the importance of, you have a very big family. In the interview with Min just a little earlier, he said, we got over here, family of 8 people. No one had a broken leg. No one had a nick. It's pretty amazing if you think about it.
Yes,
You're all here.
That's right.
You're all here now with your wives and your extended families. It's so impressive to see, and that speaks to, I think, some tremendous quality in your family, at least to me, an outsider.
Right.
Now, I'm just curious what your take is on your family and the strengths that they gave to you growing up, and that you were
Influence and things
in the
like that.
influences, the importance of that to you.
Because our family, everybody has a different kind of business or a different kind of degree. So I think it's a good thing because every time they step on something, they have a problem.
Yeah, that's okay. Why don't you talking about
Work.
work,
Right, yeah.
about work and the business?
What was that?
You talk about since you have only 6 people not including you and me, and after that now it's more than 100 people, and then we do a lot of different things. I mean, we manufacture, retail, and also do wholesale.
Wholesale consignment.
Yeah, consignment. I mean, we do different nature, and then but actually we do in garment only.
Garment business only.
Yeah, garment business only.
But the thing is, we have so many branches, do so many different things.
Right.
If that branch is growing, that leaf growing really fast, so we can put a lot of money in that part. It can grow another production, and then as that production going can last really long, it's fine. Then I jump out that department. I go to the next department and try something else like maybe painting or printing. It goes with the clothing. So I have maybe 1 or 2 people do printing, and I get more jobs because they have a lot of big company, but they don't have small company. The problem is the big company always need a mass production to keep up all the staff. But the small production, a lot of boutique people, they don't want to stock everything in the shop, so they want only like 5-10 pieces only, but many styles. So that's where we come in. We can handle if it's 1 bag, 2 bags. It's no big deal for us. If you want to make 1 sample, I can get a person do the sample. If they like us to make production, then we don't charge the fee for the sample. If they want just sample only, we charge the fee for the sample. So in which way we still can
Very flexible.
very flexible, and plus we still can learn a lot of times. A customer want this handbag we never done before, and I said we can try our best.
I have a close up on your hands as
Yes.
you're saying that. So
Right.
you're talking about handbags.
So it's the way of learning and making money at the same time. People give you opportunity to do something, do it. So it doesn't hurt. Because all the things you have to put the money out to do it, and maybe it come back with a good investment.
Where did you learn that? Where did you learn how to do that?
I learned as the basic skill I have is working with Mr. Viden. I work in a funeral home, a restaurant, cutting grass, fixing lawnmower. I learned fixing car from Min, electrical from Min, construction from Duke. And everything's when I come to Vietnam is helps me because Vietnam is nothing standard like in US. Door can be 8 feet high, maybe it can be 10 feet high. So nothing standard. You can't just go out in a construction area. You can get this what you want.
Custom made.
Everything is custom. So once I learned so many different things about the structure of the open a factory, and the structure to making a handbag and shoes, gluing. Gluing can be have fungus like latex. If you don't put ammonia in, you can have latex grow, or when you ship from Vietnam to U.S. because humidity inside the container. There's so many things you start analyzing, and plus I learned it from the most thing I learned is from computer science. Before you write a program, you have to analyze everything they do before you write a program. Just like a person cook, what he needs to cook. So a house, a kitchen, a table, oven, etc., etc., etc. You know, so.
And is that something? It seems like that is almost like a national talent of Vietnamese. Is their ingenuity? They're industrious. You know, they know how to custom make and to problem solve,
Right.
and to build things. They're very, very, very inclined in that way. And yet, it seems like you took your experience in the United States in business and certain work ethic and principles through Mr. Vidian,
Right.
for example, through your degrees and through what you studied here, and so you put these two worlds together.
Right.
So maybe that leads into the question: do you feel more Vietnamese? Do you feel more American? Do you feel like you're a special combination of the two?
For me, it's when I came to Vietnam '94, I was more American. But as I work with the Vietnamese longer and longer and longer, I can be flexible. Combination.
And that's create Vietnamese American way.
It's different. If you want to get along with the people, if you want people to work for you in the United States or in Vietnam or anywhere else, you have to understand the culture. You have to sit with them. You have to eat with them. You have to understand how they live. For me, is having a company is not making money. It's how can I hold my staff working for me the longest. The more they're working for you, the longer they stay, they're happy. They can back up very good investment for you in the future.
That's right.
It's not you go there and then you work for me. This I want. This I want. You get it next time. You won't. Even if I have money, I come to the United States. I just can't tell people do this for me, because if I do something wrong, a different kind of culture, they wouldn't do it for me. That's the same thing as in Vietnam.
Just it's like a tremendous advantage to experience both cultures, and it expands your ability to create in the business sense as well. Right. You have how many employees?
I have it over 150 employees. It takes time to teach them. It takes time to understand them. Once they trust you, when they understand you, it's easier. Plus, we have to exposure them to another environment so they can see better. If you just let them sit on one spot too long, some they like to sit in one spot, but a lot of them they like to move, because when they have no kids, they're single. It's different. But as they get older, they have to take care of the kids and their family, so you have to move them up to the same level as the culture or their living.
Yeah, our staff stay with us really long.
Very long,
It's
very long.
Stable.
It's very stable.
Very stable.
And then, how did you get into that business? Just curious. Actually, before I ask. So, what do we have on the table here?
This is the leather handbag. It's this very flashy. It's this pig skin,
Embossed.
but embossed by using a better technology. It's using laser to burn off the top skin, so it looks like a snake skin. but it's not snake skin. It's old laser burning.
Okay.
And whose design is that? V, did you design that?
I'm sorry, I'm not designer. That's
This is we have a group of staff. We give them like
We have a
an idea.
design.
We give them ideas. They look at is the how we want. It's a new style. They come up with it, not by one person. It's by everybody put together.
Right. We have a designing team, and also designing team have to follow the trend of the world. So we look at it in the internet, in the magazine, and we look. Oh, this is a trend of this year, and so designing staff do it.
Plus,
Of course, we have approved everything before production.
right. But we go to the show and people like it, and that's what it sells.
Great. Okay.
Another thing is this is suede. There's another pig skin inside.
Also, it's cows.
This is cow
Cow,
skin. This is
yes,
cow. Oh,
yes.
cow skin. There's so many different skin. I can't tell. This is a cow skin. It's all pretty much a handmade.
That's special
And,
Vietnam. That's not really industrial industrial merchandise. That we do everything with more handmade. Look at this.
It's not like it's not the big assembly line. It's all
Uh-huh.
punch hole by hands and stitching and.
Can you show it to me again, V? You were just noticing the handle.
Oh yes. Okay. Look at this. You can see it's a lot of detail made by hand. So that require a lot of time and skill of the worker. Look at this.
Let's take a look at this super close up. 1 second. Getting
Yes.
the focus.
Look at
And
the handle. Okay. And the top is we use string. String are the special string of Vietnam. That's how we call it.
It's more bamboo. Or
Yes, bamboo.
Shredded bamboo.
Right.
This is the bottom of it. So, we have a lot different colors. It depends on what season. So,
That's right.
okay.
that's great.
Another handbag is this.
No, that's not.
This handbag is look very simple, but it's a lot of work because everything here we have it. What's it? Film make. We designed it. We took pictures and we do a highlight, black and white. We have to do a lot of filming before we have to print. So we print enough that is profitable. We can't just use a fabric has the flower and cut it out because it's going to cost you a lot more because a lot of waste. That's the important thing is cutting leather or fabric is a lot of waste. You don't want to waste too much fabric, so you can make profit out of it.
Show me you were showing me the other day the most difficult part of the bag to stitch.
Stitch is this round handle made out of vinyl. Vinyl looks like leather, but it's a lot of handwork because you have to try to make it perfect round as possible.
What about the bottom and the corners?
At the bottom and the corners.
This part and this part is the most difficult part in the handbag.
And just punch holes and making all the rivet holes.
That's handbag difficult to do. This is quite simple there. This most difficult.
Because this thing is
difficult to do.
you flip inside out. It's very small. This is very small. This is very small top. So if you flip it out, if you don't flip it out right, it can wrinkle everything. So this bag is we flip it inside out to fit the finishing inside. See it?
Let's see. here.
Okay.
Great.
Okay.
I think you have some
This
other things.
cover hand. This is
This
a
is-
cover bag. We put the handbag inside.
Like
Like this
give
one.
this one.
No, not this one. No.
So this is like every customer buys and they have a instead of
the organza.
yeah
This is
organza
organza.
instead of plastic. So we're using organza, makes it nicer. It's more like a detail works after. They use a lot of people use this bag to put laundry
Right.
for traveling.
So it's a smart marketing thing to give them a little.
Right.
It's right. It's handy to carry the bag away from the store,
Right.
but also to use for laundry afterward or however they would like.
That's right.
That's nice. And then you have some other things over here.
Yes, clothes. We make dress. It's for evening dress. Okay. Look at this, beautiful, right? That might be silk, 100% silk. 100% silk for the ladies in the evening. Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
We do, yeah, right. Really beautiful. People love it.
And,
Very
what
feminine.
about lingerie?
Yeah, and
This is nice, man.
we also do the lingerie ones. That is one.
I think this is nicer with my wife wear so, on camera.
Yeah, we don't want you to
Nice
model
and on
this.
me, right?
Uh-huh.
Hey, look at this. Mm-hmm.
Này dễ nào đấy.
Mm-hmm. That's made by silk too.
Yeah, by
Made
silk,
100% silk. Mm-hmm. This S-Bass. And we also make shoe. That's the style for this year. More that's
This is
the horse skin.
This is horse skin,
Uh-huh.
painted leopard on it.
Yeah, that's the trend of this year. Horse skin and actually suede
That's
and horse skin.
Yes.
Approve. I approve any design when the designer team they finish and I approve. Okay, that's for one group. This is another group, and then we put it. And then when the group will come to the store, that
I think the important thing is design. One thing is where to sell and who to sell it, because some like you notice a lot of design, very good design. They're flashy, but you would like to wear on you, but somebody like to wear it. So it's design one thing. It's the marketing and where you're gonna sell is another story.
right.
So that's
And-
very important.
Oh, and yeah, right. I tell you another one is I'm the people to try out everything before production and before selling.
Right.
It's when we before making production, we always make a sample first, and I'm a first people to try out everyone.
She's the one tries on
handbag,
shoes,
and
handbags, and clothing, and to see if she's really like it or
Yeah,
not. So.
if I feel comfortable, I feel that's correct. I say, okay, that's good. And with the technical team, we do some adjustment. Like that. Cảm ơn Thanh nhiều nha.
Cái gì đây là trong
Giờ em dán phải làm
cái em không về vị trí kia gọi cho Thành viết
cái kênh gì có nói
giấy tờ của Vi có tới gì không hay là nhé.
giờ nói không sao hết
Thì trong
kêu biết không thích
trong không lâu nữa tụi em về lại đấy mà.
rồi good cái gì anh email
Dạ rồi nha.
Dạ.
Ok đi về cẩn thận ha.
Liberty, đứng dậy, chào bác Thành đàng hoàng và cô Hiền.
Okay.
Say
I already
thank
said
you.
goodbye to everyone.
How about the kids?
Okay.
But yeah, I already said goodbye to everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a good trip.
We'll see you again. Okay.
They're in the car.
Are they?
Okay.
Ôi chưa lấy dép anh đi giúp anh. Yeah, anh đi dép. Không có giúp anh lái xe bằng dép.
Oh yeah, right.
No problem, no problem.
So this is first couple living, right?
Bye.
Chưa đăng lên ha. Có ngày mai về rồi. Tối nay phải phát đồ. Bye anh Thành nha.
Chúc cho to tè.
Correct.
It's heat. It's gas. Gas heater.
So you just said goodbye to the first of the brothers to leave.
Right.
Yeah. Do you feel sad? Do you feel sad when you see them go, or tell me about it.
No, I mean we're brothers, so I have to. If when he leaves, so it's not sad. It's just like I will be happy and I will see him again.
No,
in,
I
in,
feel sad.
in few
I feel
months.
sad.
I feel
I really
I see
like
a different
the
way.
two kids. Two kids is so
You know.
cute. I love them.
For brothers and sisters, it's different. For me, it's different. It's we go away, but I know I will see him like in a few months. So
You a man. The woman always feeling something.
gentle, right?
Right, gentle. Yeah, right. First couple leaving. Uh-huh. And tomorrow, you, me, Min, Karin. Uh-huh.
And do-
And then
do will
in
be-
the afternoon.
Afternoon. Augustine leave late, I think. When's Augustine leave?
Yes, I don't know, but they leave late.
That'd be great. So, would you say, Alphonse, would you say that your family is a close family? Or do you feel that your family is very tight, very closely knit?
What do you mean by close as?
In other words, some families, they see each other once in a while. It's really pretty casual,
Right.
and they're not particularly close. Like they have to have that connection with each other. I don't get that impression from your family. I get the impression that this is a family that works hard
Right.
together,
Right.
and it's staying
we
close.
no, I think it's the point also for me saying is not far away doesn't mean close. You know what I mean? If we were close, we wouldn't be together. We always know each other, what we're doing. Even if we are far away, but when we need to be together, we can be together. First, we have to take care of the family first, before all brothers see each other.
It's for me, I think this is a really close family. I can see that because they keep even some family they live in US and some family they live in Vietnam, but even that, but they still keep calling, keep in touch to it, keep in touch, keep calling, send email, and they know each other what they're doing, and then they need help, it's really help, and then if
For us, we're very busy, so it's hard to see every day. Even when I live in Vietnam, and Duke's like, he's only about 3-4 miles, but sometimes it takes a month. At least him see him once a month or twice. The most he works a lot, and I work a lot, but every time we see is more closer together than if we go every day, we hang out, then it's nothing but blend, So.
If you had if you had like a few sentences to tell somebody, they asked you, what's the importance of what your parents give to you and your parents, and they asked you, who are your parents? We just had this ceremony last night for your mom.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very beautiful tradition.
yes.
And all of that means something. I'm just wondering what it means to you to have parents who raised you the way they did. Who are your parents? Who are your parents? Would you tell the camera who your parents are?
My parents is my mom and dad are very hardworking parents. In the beginning, we don't see that as when we were young. But it's as important. Like we come back now. It's very important because they're working hard, stay together, even hardship, economy changing and moving around. But the thing is, you have to work hard to earn it. By working hard, and after we can see your parent why they work so hard. We more appreciate it.
Okay, sorry. It's up my side because I'm just a new member of the family, but I can see that their parents really, really good. I mean, I'm proud to be a member of the family, and then it's up my side, my family side. So they always, because I'm older, I'm older, and I have a younger sister. We have only 2 people. So my parents always say they really have comfort.
Admire
Their parents, how they can feed 5 boys that age. That's really hard time for them when they go to America, and then feed them, teach them, and lead them to be a good people as now. I don't.
I know what you mean. Like taking care of our boys is tough. Yeah.
Not really taking care, but also teach you,
lead them
to be a good
parents, of the family.
Yes, right.
And to be successful.
Yes, all right.
Successful.
Yeah.
I mean, plus because all this when I was young, I don't see that much. As when I come to Vietnam, I see more now because things I work hard resemble my parents, so it helps a lot to be success. When you success and you can turn around back and you can say better, appreciate more. So.
Do you take something from the experience of your parents and you saving it now for giving to your children? Just curious.
I mean, saving.
Well, what would you, from what you've learned in your family and through the example of hard work and dedication and love and leadership of your parents, what do you wish to pass on to your kids?
Teach them how to earn it. What they want, they have to earn it. Giving them some, but not too much.
Knowledge. Give them knowledge. Is important.
Right. Plus, don't spoil them too much. That's one of my dad system, I call it system. He doesn't spoil. You want it, you have 2 feet, you have 2 hands, go work for it. I mean, as young as you see it's just rough, but as you get older, all the things he does, all my things my parents did, it helped us into this future success. So.
And he also a good cook. He also a good cook like his mom.
Because
his
I
mom
stay
cook really good.
I stay home most of the time with my mom. I get more influence by mom's side than my dad. So.
What are some other things we might not know? Now I know he's a good cook. Are there some other things that he can do that usually guys can't do? Like I don't know.
Sewing. I mean, sewing is.
Actually, he's.
I'm more detailed worker.
Most kind of skill.
Craftsmanship.
Handyman. We call handyman in the house, right?
But I'm pretty much more technical.
Right.
I like to look in reverse side instead of the positive side of it. I like to see the inside of it. So.
He's the youngest people, the youngest in the family, so he learned a lot from his brother. Something about me.
Not learning a lot. Is forced to do a lot.
Forced, right?
Hey, can you do this? Can you do this? So, oh yeah, why not? So.
Forced, right?
Forced.
But that's good, right?
So
now
it helps a lot. I mean,
that's
like men, I hate to do electrical. He said, work on electric. I hate it. I wait, so he just forced me to work on it. Eventually, it helps. Now I do. I know more electrical. I mean, the power supply is electrical than men because I've done a lot more. But without him in the beginning, start. And Duke, for him, is construction. Bernard is more psychology. Augustine is philosophy. Kimchi.
About health.
Health, yeah.
Don't eat that much.
Don't eat this much. So I learned. I take all my brothers as different thing. I learned different thing. I put it together, and I learned my dad is by you don't do something, you have to do it. You have to do it no matter what. It's more like a military.
All right.
My mom, I learned my mom. I learned my mom from if you don't like it, say it. That's
very strict.
Very strict, yeah.
Strict.
My mom is like, she doesn't like something, she's straight. She doesn't hold back. That's why I have, my personality is like multiple personality. You know, my mom's side, my dad's side, all my brothers, my sister.
So that means that you have a more advantage than others.
So I look at them as my my teacher. So I take it from them what I learn. Every time I go somewhere, seminar, things that if or somebody tell me something wrong, I take as I'm learning. It's not as I did. They say bad things about me. You keep in as a bad thing. Something they say something about you. It's really hard to learn. So that's all.
That's great. Yeah, that puts it all into perspective.
You are lucky people.
So that's how I see it. I see it now more than before. So why my personality this way? I take some of this. I take some of this. Take some of this. My parents and mom, and this side. I start analyzing. And then I take this. Then I start help my staff to learn about them. You analyze them and see what they like, and you put things what they like. They will help you more. Instead of forcing to do something they don't want to do, but you forcing to something you want to do, but you train them to like it, not to hate it. So.
That's fantastic. Well, I mean, I don't see how we could top that, right? That's really.
See, that's I think I know. It's like I am Vin philosophy. He's the philosophy. Tan is more psychology.
Try to travel a lot and
Travel.
show you about it.
Kimchi, more health. Don't eat this, don't eat this, don't eat this. No, it helps a lot, No, I mean, if kimchi, if all this thing didn't work, she wouldn't be here, right? So, she must do something right.
Oh, of course, must right.
And so,
I think your picture over there.
no, I didn't. No.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you very much.